Oh, this is easily the dumbest money I've ever spent on the channel, which is saying a lot because I've bought some dumb crap before. But in this box, there is a broken Alienware system. Now, I hear a lot of you saying, Dawid, have you ever seen a working Alienware? Ho, ho, ho. Smarky comment aside, this one's actually listed as broken on eBay, and I paid quite a lot of money for it, which was especially stupid considering that they didn't list the specs of it. So it's like online slot machine level gambling, which is very stupid, don't do it. Luckily, there is a video sponsor that's gonna help me financially recover from my terrible life decisions. Today's video sponsor puts the fun in Linux-based cloud computing and web hosting service. It's Linode! Linode is a Linux-based cloud computing and web hosting service that offers multiple products to manage cloud storage, websites, databases, game servers, Kubernetes, and they can even handle whatever computational load you can imagine. Also, if you value good customer support, which you should, Linode is one of the best in the business. I mean, look at how happy these two are with their service. If all of this sounds good to you, sign up to Linode using the link in my description below to get a 60-day, $100 free credit. Thank you, Linode, for sponsoring today's video. So as you can tell by this very embarrassing invoice, I paid about 1,000 Canadian drachmi before shipping and tax for this Alienware system that has specs that I don't know, that's broken in an unspecified way. Oh, I really hope I can salvage something out of this. Hey, we get the best part of any Alienware system, the box. Although it seems to have been stored at the bottom of a well. Wait, why did they cut crop circles into the box? Oh, it's probably like shipping labels, right? To hide their address? Oh, it's nice of them to include the e-waste peripherals with the system. So that means if these still work, we've made back like $2 of the money we've sunk into this broken system. And I can also tell from up here, at least we know there's still a graphics card in it. So that's also a good start. It may not be a working graphics card, but we'll find out soon enough. Oh. Now, on first impression, we can tell a couple things about it. It clearly wasn't curb stomped by Godzilla at some point. There's no like clear external damage on the thing. We can also tell that it's the previous generation Alienware desktop pre-built, the one with like the power supply right over the CPU cooler here. Alienware was really innovating in terms of CPU fan cooler BDSM with this design. Other than that, it's clearly a used Alienware. It's a bit gross on the front. And we also have a Ryzen 5000 sticker on the front. Now around the back, again, it looks promising. There's no obvious physical damage or like char marks or whatever. But one thing that does worry me a little bit, they've clearly opened it up. This screw is missing. So it means they've dug around on the inside of it. May not be a problem, maybe, we'll see, we'll find out. But with that, I can't wait anymore. So everybody, fingers crossed, let's open it up and hope that there's something salvageable in here. It always catches me off guard how shocking the interior of these systems are. Like, what was Dell thinking? Oh, that is quite a chunky looking graphics card in there. Let's remove this power supply and have a closer look. Now, I can't exactly remember how this works, but I think you flip this and then... Now, of course, it's an Alienware system, so it's just gonna have a single stick of RAM in it. What size is it, actually? Ah, a single 16 gig stick, Skeletor's configuration of choice. But we do have the optional AIO in the wild. I've never seen this in one of the Alienware systems before, and this is an upgrade that I feel like is an absolute minimum requirement for these systems, considering the heinous power supply placement. It has a 120mm radiator, which is a bit losery, but it's a massive improvement over the asphyxiated air cooler. But I'm still not sure what CPU is under this very exciting AIO block. I'm not going to take it off yet because I do want to test fire the system before I actually touch anything, just to see what it does. Now the graphics card is a real chunky boy. I actually still can't see a sticker identifying what it is. I think it's at least the 3080 because I've seen the Dell 3070 before, and it is a much smaller heatsink, and it only has one 8-pin power connector. So that's exciting, that's promising stuff. And if it's a working 3080, that's already pretty cool. Now again, in terms of physical condition, the interior is quite promising. There's no obvious damage, like it didn't look like there was a fire in here, for example. It's kind of getting me excited. Now, I actually think what I'm gonna do before I dig around in it is I'm gonna close it up, plug it in, and see what the system does. And then we can start trying to diagnose it. Ugh. Ew, it's so gross to touch. Okay, so we're getting orange flashes. Now those orange flashes mean a thing. It's like an error code. Wow, it is so noisy. Damn. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 3 flashes, pause, 2 flashes. Let's Google what that means. Oh, okay, that potentially kind of sucks. According to the list, 3 flashes and then 2 means PCI video failure. So there's something wrong with the graphics card. Okay, it's not catastrophic necessarily. Let's have a look inside. It sounds so well made. Now the first thing I'm gonna try is reseating the graphics card, because maybe somebody took it out and didn't put it back in correctly. So let's give that a try. It like barely fits in the front of the case. Look at that. It's actually, oh, there we go. Ooh, that's quite a chunky graphics card for a Dell GPU. Although I'm still not sure what it is. There's no like labeling on it. Anyway, let's reseat this anonymous Schrodinger's GPU and see if that helps. The thing is, I'm not super hopeful about the graphics card, because why would they not test the most valuable component in the system before getting rid of it, right? Anyway, let's give it a try. Yeah, it's straight back to orange. Wait, is it 2-3 or 3-2? I think it's 2-3. It turns out it was 2-3. In fact, I was looking at the diagnostic list for the Alienware R13, which was very different from the list for the R10, which doesn't even have 3-2 as an option. If it's 2-3, it's not the graphics card. And that sequence means system board, memory, or processor failure, which is a bit vague. It's kind of like saying, shit's broken, I guess. But let's start off with the easiest one to test, the memory. So for now, we can ignore the graphics card, because the system may have just rejected the RAM configuration, which I don't blame you, little buddy. Now I'm gonna use this random stick I found lying around. I think this actually came out of a Dell system, so it's potentially a good test subject. And I'm also gonna put it in a different RAM slot on the motherboard in case the RAM slot's an issue. Nope, same warning. So let's try another kit of RAM and then we'll have a look at the CPU. No, still the same thing, which means it's almost definitely not the RAM. So at this point, it seems like it's either the CPU or the motherboard that's committed harakiri. But before I start playing around with that, let me just reset the CMOS and see if that helps. It didn't. Oh, lovely sound every time. Now we do get to find out what CPU's under there. Exciting stuff. Well, that explains why it doesn't work. There's no CPU in it. That's kind of got me worried though, because why would they just take the CPU out of it and then sell the rest of it for parts unless it's all broken, right? Now my mind is telling me the next step is to just test the graphics card to see if maybe that's still working, even though considering the missing CPU, I think it's increasingly unlikely that this GPU is actually working. But my heart is telling me to try dropping a working Ryzen CPU into the system to see what happens. It's not a very good idea, because if this motherboard's faulty, it could kill the CPU as well. But on the other hand, the person removed the CPU from it, which kind of implies it was still working. So the motherboard may not have killed it. That's good enough logic for me. Let's drop this in there and see what happens. Okay, so we are potentially sacrificing the CPU to the gods of Alienware, but we'll see. See, this is what happens when you let me buy stuff at like 12 at night for a YouTube video. This is what happens. Okay, so hopefully I don't lose components in this process. Let's see. Oh no, it's the same warning. That's not good. I guess now all that's left to do is rip the graphics card out of it and hope that it works in a different system. As unlikely as I know it is, maybe they were being nice and left me a graphics card for my troubles. So let's test it and see. Okay, well it lights up. It's making a lot of noise. No way! Yes! Oh, I got something out of it. Oh, thank God. Holy f***.
A few moments later.
Now comes the exciting bit. We get to see what graphics card we got. Let's see, what did we get? Okay, it's a 10 gig 3080. That's not too bad. And in all fairness, people have spent a lot more money on a 3080, so like it could have been so much worse. But it got even better, because I decided to test a 5000 series Ryzen CPU because, I don't know, maybe Alienware BIOSes are weird. And lo and behold, when I dropped a 5900X into the Alienware system, no way! It boots with the 5900X in it! At which point, feeling quite victorious, I decided to drop the graphics card back into the system so that I could game on my newly resurrected Alienware. Wow, the CPU is immediately not super happy. 73 degrees Celsius isn't horrendous, but considering that there's 13% utilization, it's not great. Look at that! We're actually gaming on our stupid gamble. All we had to do was add a CPU, and now we have quite a powerful gaming system. It has kind of filled the room with the scent of a heavily used gym bag, but at least it's working. It's noisy, it's very audible. And actually, it's an AIO, right? So it's gonna take it about 15 or 20 minutes to heat the liquid up fully, because it's like a 120, it's not a huge AIO, so it shouldn't take too long. But yeah, let's give it a minute. So I've been gaming for half an hour and the CPU has settled in at 82 degrees Celsius, which is not great considering the noise, the not very high load, and the ambient temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. Even with the AIO upgrade, this system has some serious jet engine tendencies. In terms of GPU temperature though, it's decent. It's not hit 70 degrees Celsius yet, so yeah, that chunky cooler does seem to be putting in some work. So after all of that, we got most of a smelly Alienware system. It's still an Alienware system, so you know, there's that, but it could have gone a whole lot worse. And hey, the thing I'm the most excited about are these sweet e-waste peripherals. Anyway, until the next video, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.